Good evening this beautiful day and welcome to Engendered, a show where we bring you every discourse relating to the female gender. I am your host for today, Pamela Ajaero.
Good evening, esteemed viewers, and welcome to the Engendered show right here on Captain Television, right here in the nation's capital, where we discuss issues pertaining to the female gender. A show you must not miss because today promises to be an insightful one. I am Confidence Rueben. We'll quickly go on a short break, and when we come back, we will delve straight to the topic of the day. And of course, we have a guest that will do justice to this topic. Do stay with us.
Welcome back to the program. If you've just joined us, you're right in time because the program is about to begin. The ship is about to sail. And today we'll be discussing something important. We always discuss important things, important issues on the show. And today we'll be discussing self-development in women. We'll be seeing how it affects the workspace, the dating and marriage space, women-to-women friendship, and also how it affects the society at large. And we'll be doing this topic today with a life coach and a relationship expert, no other person but Mr. Femi Jubal. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much for this invite. I'm so happy to be here with you African goddesses.
I am really glad. Anytime we get to have a male as our guest, I feel so glad having you discuss the women issue.
Thank you. I
from your own
an amazing interactive
perspective.
session.
Okay, like we said earlier, we'll be doing self-development in women. And before we dive into the discussion, I like to read a research. It says in 2020, about 40.5%, that is 12.2 million of women among the total female labor force were fully employed. In the same year, 46.3%, that is 18.3 million of men out of the total male labor force gained full employment. And this means that there is still a gender gap of about 6% in the country's workspace. And the UN Women and UNDP today at the Women Deliver Conference highlights that less than 1% of women and girls live in countries with both high levels of women's empowerment, while more than 90% of the world's female population, which is 3.1 billion women and girls, live in countries characterized by a large women's empowerment deficit and a large gender gap. And now lack of government incentives and assistance, lack of resources, information and education, cultural values and discrimination against rural women are the most factors seen to be mitigating the development in women. And joining us, like I said earlier, to discuss this topic today is Mr. Femi Jubal.
Thank you so much.
Now, self-development can mean has many definitions. So I'd like you to take us through the journey, what it means for a woman to be self-developed.
Self-development is, like you rightly said, self. It means that you are intentionally and deliberately investing in yourself. Spiritually, mentally, psychologically, economically, socially, physically, so you can now live a holistic life. Because at the end of the day, change is inevitable.
Sure.
So you are either deliberate about it,
Actions.
or you are forced to change. Because at the end of the day, if you're not prepared for change, you're not building yourself, you're not intentional about growing. We have to keep growing. What happens is that you can go into extinction. or you can become more of a liability, not just to yourself, but to the people around you and to society. And that in itself is actually anti-womanhood. Is not a feature of femininity.
Okay.
Because while you were reading the statistic, I was just, there was a thought that ran through my mind. No doubt, we can't deny the fact that we live in a very patriarchal society.
That's true.
Extremely patriarchal society. People don't like to accept that.
I like the
And
fact
because a lot of people don't know history. They don't study their history. So they think that the world has always been this way. But no, when you study most of the ancient civilizations, you figure out that the male and the female gender were together. It was running society was a partnership between the male and the female gender. It was always like, they were running pari passu. You had female warriors, you had male warriors. This is why when you study the African history, you watch some of those Netflix series recently that are coming out, true life stories, Congo, Angola, those powerful female warriors that, were defending a whole city. So you wonder, but based on what a lot of us know about history, the only people that were warriors in the past were men. But that's not the case. Women were also significant entities in society, in ancient times, but it got to a point where social construct, some people probably felt that women need to be put under control, because if you leave them, they'll go out of hand, and then a lot of these ideas, you are the weaker vessel, religious dogmas, a lot of things were introduced. And over the years, women have believed and accepted this thing as true. So sometimes something is not true, is a lie, but because it has been told over time, then it begins to sound like it's the truth. So inactivity, passiveness, mediocrity is anti-femininity.
Okay.
All right. Do you see a need in empowering a woman? This is our generation whereby some women are being relegated to the background, as housewives. You get, and judging for the fact that they can do a better job in terms of fending for the family. So do you see a need in empowering women in this our generation?
Definitely, there is a need in empowering women, because the truth is, there are women, like I said, who they've bought into the lie. It begins with self-discovery. Now, if a lot of people don't know who they are, not just women, even men, and they don't even know their gender dynamics. Like, who am I as a woman? What is womanhood? What is femininity? Let's start with the fact that people always say women are emotional, men are logical, and they make it sound like that is the way it is, but that's not true.
Really?
That's not true. They make it look like women have only feminine energy and men only have masculine energy. That's not true. Every gender have both feminine and masculine energy. It's a law of duality. Now, the difference is the dominant energy in a man is the masculine energy. So there are times that a man needs to exemplify and put out his feminine energy. What is feminine energy? Is being affectionate. Sometimes a man needs to be a bit soft. He needs to calm down. Sometimes a woman needs to step in and be a man. It has happened in different situations. You can imagine a woman who was married, and then let's look at people like Malcolm X's wife, Martin Luther King's wife. These men died at 40, 39 years old. And their wives went ahead to raise some of the best children. How did they do it? Because they did not shut down their masculine side. But society is telling young people, if you're a woman, you only have feminine side, you can't be a man. No. The situations sometimes would warrant that you step into the shoes. I made a video recently. I said that men are getting weaker and women are getting stronger. This is the truth. Men don't like it when I say it. And there are facts out there to prove what I said, because I was talking to a teacher who is very strong in the Ministry of Education, and they said in the last 10 years, the girl child started performing better than the boy child.
Really? That's a really good report.
Wow.
Yes, it's the truth. They started performing. That now you can see the first 3-4 best students are girls.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to some schools, the majority are females.
Thank you very much. So the girl child started performing better than the boy child, because men are now focused on just what women need to do, who women need to be. And while they are doing that, women are now getting stronger because a lot of women are beginning to come to the awareness of who they are, their identity, the feminine energy, and how to build their lives on that. That's why you see a lot of female CEOs now. It wasn't like that 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't like that 20 years ago. But there are also women out there who have still bought into the lies, religious dogma and all that, social construct. They haven't still gotten to the point where they discover their femininity and who they are as a woman. One of the things I always say this, when you study ancientology of womanhood, you would understand that the definition of a woman is the epitome of strength and honor. Matter of fact, in the ancient times, a man needed to go to war for him to attain this height. A woman is naturally, she is endowed with this position of strength and honor. And how did she do that? By virtue of natural endowment, who she is as a woman. Because she's a life giver and she's a life keeper. My mother could have gotten rid of me. So the woman is the life keeper and the life giver. So this basic information, a lot of women don't even have it. That I am the reason. A woman is the vessel that carries the next generation. Every good legacy can only be sustained because there's a woman there. Because our womb is the compartment of continuity for any legacy that you
there's
have.
a saying that says behind every successful man is a woman.
Those are the things that they push out there to women, and then they told women you can't do this. And then when you talk about physical strength, for instance, they've sold another idea to women that women are physically weak and men are physically stronger than women. Fine, in some areas, based on some of the things. But the truth is, I have seen women who engage in the same activities as men, and they even do better. Female warriors, like I said. So it borders on this, indoctrination. And a lot of young ladies, they've bought into it that you're only good for the bed and the kitchen. So if you have that, even if there's an opportunity for you to improve on yourself, you won't do it. I always tell women that you don't even have to sleep with men to get what you want. You can only get it. You can get it on the back of the fact that you are a woman, because you have attained that height of strength and honor. Just based on that.
Being a woman, that's a really, really nice journey. Now, for people who have not really discovered themselves, who are still struggling, where do those people start from in their self-discovery, in their self-development journey? What skills should they look out for? What should they look out for? I want to discover myself. I want to do this journey. How should they go about it?
First thing is, self-discovery is a solitary journey. It means that because you were born an individual, you're going to die an individual. So self-discovery it has to do with the first step is decision. Who am I? That's the question. In this, you have over 8 billion people on planet Earth. And a lot of people are not even asking, who am I amongst these 8 billion people? In these very significant moments in the history of humanity, where we have done a lot of things, it looks like we can't do anything more. We've done everything we need to do. We've gone to space, we've come back, we've built airplane, we've done this. So who am I and what am I meant to contribute? So it begins with decision. Decisions are the pathways to life. And the quality of your decision determines the quality of your life. So the first question is to ask yourself, who am I? Because you were born with inside information. In your DNA, there are informations in your DNA that you came here with. So you must begin with that. And the moment you start asking, they say that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So the moment you start asking that question, then somehow you're going to be inspired, ignited into that voyage and that journey. But you must understand that it is a solitary journey. It is not a journey that you travel with other people. You can have people along the line that support you, people like myself, I can talk to people book sessions, I speak with them but then you are the one that will discover who you are, because those informations are inside information. Those are the two types of information that help people. Your inside information and the ones you get from other people by education and all that. So that's very important.
Also, there are challenges these women go through. Like I read earlier, there are factors affecting the development of women. Can you drive us through that journey? What are these factors that affect women development?
One of the factors that affect women development is, and I'm going to say it, we live in a country that is very, very religious. Religious indoctrination. religion hasn't been fair to women, actually. The truth is, organized religion is a very masculine religion. So there are a lot of structures in place to ensure that women don't really. It seems as though there is this fear of women, like we have to put these people under control.
Yeah.
You know, we can't just leave them to just be this way. If we lose them, they are going to take over from us. Because, matter of fact, there is a school of thought that believes that the world, humanity started with matriarchy. Like, it was first matriarchy. Women were the ones ruling the world. There is, in Judaism, one of the first texts in Judaism is that Adam had a wife called Lilith, who is the mother of feminists. And then Adam said he was going to sleep with Lilith on top, and Lilith said no, she has to be. And then there was a fight, and then she fought God, and then she left, and then she became the mother of. This is a mythical story. Okay, so now the truth is, now you have mainstream religion that are not older than 2,000 years old, because women, and I'm going to talk to a lot of women that are watching, you need to go on that voyage of research about who you are as a woman.
Okay.
And you cannot depend on just what your religion has told you about you, because there's a lot of constrictions and restrictions in all that. Fantastic. I celebrate religion, amazing things religion has done, for humanity. But at the same time, for you to really delve into who you truly are, you have to go into studying, ancientology, study anthropology, study history. Who was a woman in the first century, in the second century? It's the truth. Who were you before they told you that you're a weaker vessel? Who were you before they told you that you're only good to be a wife? Because we had women, even in the Bible, you had Deborah, who was the reason why an army won the battle. You had one of the Prophet Muhammad's daughter, a whole city they held a city at a siege, and she took care of the whole city for over 30 days. One woman. We had Queen Amina, the story of Queen Amina from Kaduna. So it is important that you go on that voyage of, research. It will help you to really know who you truly are, not just from the physical perspective, but also from the soul level, from the spiritual perspective. And it will help you to put out your most authentic feminine energy out there, because at the end of the day, without women, what are we going to do?
From what you just said, reminded me, I can remember when I was growing up, then I didn't know I could ever do public speaking. I just admire people who do it. Then one particular, that was my 300 level, we were to have a presentation, and they said, we need somebody from French department to do that. I was not in the last class. I did not know they were doing presentation. I just came among my group. My friends just said, Pamela, you can do this. I said, why me? I've not gone through the thing. I've not read it. I was just seeing it for the first time. I picked the book, went through. It was about adjective, and I taught the class it was a group work. And when my leader started, and like 4 other persons, the lecturer was not impressed. He was like, what kind of group is this? I was the 5th person I get. Whenever I collected my book, only my name, I just introduced my name. The man, good, give her 2 marks. I never knew I had that energy in me to come out and pull up crowds. And everybody was wild with my presentation. Again, when I was doing, something about spoken word, I just see people do it. I never knew it. I have to go back and discover. I say, wow, Pamela, you can actually do spoken word. Truly, you have to, every individual, apart from, especially the female gender, since we are being talked down upon, we need to discover who we are, just like our guest have said.
Another thing I remember, sorry to cut you before I forget, is I want to speak to men, because I'm sure that men also watch this program. Now, a real man can never be threatened by the strength of a woman, because her strength complements you.
That's true.
What we have these days are men who they are choking on red pill poisons. All these alpha male gigolos.
It's a problem.
You don't even know who you are as a man yet, and then you want to control women and fashion them. You want to create women in your own image, yet you have not even discovered your own masculine energy. And that's why one of the things that you see these days is, and this is why I'm talking to men, trying to shortchange your woman is to your own deficit at the end of the day. Because if your woman is at her best, it helps you, it contributes to you, it magnifies you, it balances your masculine energy. Because what we have these days, we have in my book, I call it entitled leadership. I describe the 3-4 categories of leadership. A lot of men have this entitled leadership. I'm a leader because I'm a man. No, you're not a leader because you're a man. Even in your marriage, you're not a leader because you are a man. You're a leader because you have earned it. And then a lot of men, they clamp down on situational leadership. I had a master class over the weekend, and the way I do my presentation, just normal presentation, PowerPoint, blah blah blah. And then my fiancée saw it, and then she was like, "No, you can't do this kind of presentation." And on the Friday night, the master class on Saturday, and I said, "I think you can do it better." And she took it and said, "I'll do something for you." And for 9 hours, she didn't sleep. She did one of the most beautiful PowerPoint presentation. Now that's situational leadership. Now, because a lot of men have entitled leadership, they don't know when they are meant to push their woman forward.
To do it.
You can do it better than me. And then when you have that situation, it helps you to do co-leadership. And then it now there is, alignment is what is needed. Men, because as we speak to women, we also need to speak to men. Because if we empower women and men still feel insecure, we're going to have chaos in society.
We'll get to that angle. We are coming there. Okay, now I want to talk about the rural women. Now those people, they feel inferior because they feel I'm not educated. I didn't go to the four walls of the school, so there's nothing I can give out. There's nothing I can give out. So I want you to talk to those kind of women who feels they don't have confidence, they don't have a say. Who are they to want to talk when people are talking because they didn't go to the... And I am very sure self-development is beyond going to the four walls of the school.
Conventional education is not proof of intelligence and value and worthiness. That's it. It's not. Before the Eurocentric education curriculum that we had women who were economists, we had women who were in the medical field, we had women who were entrepreneurs, traders, we had women who were warriors in the military. Yes, before, they brought all these things to us. So having a school certificate or being schooled in the four walls of conventional school is good, but then if you don't have that opportunity, it doesn't make you less than who you are. Like you go to the street and you see women. We've seen women who did not go to any university or any school, and they turned 1,000 naira to 1 million. They've tripled, they've quadrupled their business worth. So it is important. That's why I said identity. Discover yourself, develop yourself, deploy your authenticity, and you will discover that you're not the woman, the CEO of the bank who is a woman is not better than you. In your own field, you can become the best, regardless of the limitations you think. You are the only one who can limit yourself.
Okay. All right. Still on empowerment. Now, what areas do you think is best to empower women? In workplaces, we have disparity, there's job disparities among men and women. What a man should do, what a woman should do, what a man shouldn't do. So what areas do you think is best to empower women?
I think the administrative angle. Women are very good administrators.
Actually.
Yeah, they are very good administrators. Women are good managers. They have, I don't want to say better organizational skills than men because they are very detailed. Now, women are more sensitive to frequency than men. So a woman can come to this place and spot everything that is wrong. And then the next thing she wants to do is make it right. So, matter of fact, I was telling someone, I said, if I become the governor of a state, 80% of my cabinet will be women. Because I tell you the truth, women easily spot. You know why it looks like there's gender tussle these days. And I speak to men a lot. I run an organization called Brothers Lifting Brothers. This is a CAP. And it's about 200 men in the organization. And I talk to them. And I say, do you know why it looks like women are fighting you people these days? It simply means that there are too many loopholes that men are. We are giving loopholes and they are saying it. And women can never see something wrong and not step in to fix it. So why don't you fix it first? Why don't you fix it so that when she comes, she will not feel, why are you doing it? She has to step in. So organizational structure, administrative angle, medical field, of course. Teaching, women are very good teachers. We need more women to go into politics. Honestly, as much as, and that's why, you're talking about women to women. Women don't support themselves enough. We see all the women empowerment thing. Yeah, fine.
Competition and all that.
But then, it's still to social construction. Yeah, a woman was running for APC. She had APC primary presidential ticket. Nobody voted for. All the women voted for
the male.
For the male. So you can imagine. So, and then the same way we come out and say women need to be in politics.
That actually brings us to this women friendship. You know, statistics has it that one of the problem of women is competition among themselves. Now, once someone is self-developed, of course your soldiers will be high. You want to belittle another person. How can this self-development influence the friendship between the women to women friendship, their relationship, to strengthen it? How can you do that?
I've always said this: a woman's number one enemy is not a man; is another woman.
Yes.
It's the truth. You find a woman who occupies a position in an organization, and then there is another woman in that organization who feels that she doesn't deserve it because she's a woman. And that woman would rather have a man. Like, why should a woman be above me? When that woman should learn from that woman who is superior to her now, and then help her, support her. And, you know, because it boils down to the fact that women have been told that there is a hierarchy in society. And the apex of that hierarchy belongs only to men.
Actually.
So now, there are women who don't put in so much effort because they know it's for men. But there are unique women, extraordinary women who say, no, I don't care. I am going to get there. So when that woman now gets there, the ones that were feeling like, I don't want to put in too much, this thing is for, they now start, there's jealousy and envy.
Yeah.
When they are meant to see that woman as a role model, like, if she could do it, I can do it too. So women they must begin with supporting one another. If the woman is good for the job, if she is competent, you know, what got her to that position? Focus on that, and then see how you can learn and then support. Not trying to set her up so that if a man is there, yes, all of us, we are now women, we can be at the bottom.
Okay, what will you say about building boundaries in women's relationship?
That's very important because, like I said, when I said the woman's number one, because we can't rule out the fact that, you know, I was counseling this a guy and his girlfriend. So his girlfriend was always going to his house with her friend. And many times she would leave her friend in her boyfriend's house. And there was time she even suggested, because her friend had issues with accommodation, can she sleep here? I mean, I have to go home because of my mom. Can she sleep here? And the boyfriend was trying to signal her, like, and she was like, where will she go? She's my friend. You know? So at the end of the day, you know, move forward. The guy was accused of sleeping with her friend. When they came to me, I said, boundaries is very important. Boundaries. You must set that boundary. You can't. She's your friend, but she's a woman. You know, don't go and put. Many times people didn't want to do something, but because you put them in that situation. Someone may not be. There is a person who has never stolen, and then you put them in this room and lock them up, and there is dollar, and you leave them there for 1 week. That thought might come. You know, setting boundaries is very important in friendship, especially when it comes to close relationship. You know, in the core circle of women, setting boundaries is very important.
Okay, I know you're not a woman, but from your life coach experience, can you give us tips on how women can resolve conflicts?
Because conflict between women is usually very fiery. You know, men can just have issues here now, and then before you know,
talk it out.
They can talk it out. But women, and it boils down to that sensitivity to frequency. Women read in between the lines. And because of that, sometimes they go to the extreme, to the point where you are thinking what the person was not thinking. You are thinking for them. You know, so the truth is, as much as it is important to be sensitive to frequency, sensitive to people, but at the same time, we should also understand that we should not take things too personal. We should not. I have a lot of guys that we do stuff together, and then we have had disagreements. But then there is a bigger picture. So many times we have to forget about our disagreements, our differences, and focus on the bigger picture. So women must know that there is a bigger picture right now that has to do with their empowerment, their progress as a gender, and then it is important to focus on that bigger picture. So if you are doing something, if you're in partnership with women in business and all that, focus on the bigger picture.
Okay. Now, enough of that. How can women gain support for self-development?
Well, I'm going to be honest about that because there are a lot of women empowerment organizations and agencies out there.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we even have few organizations for boy, child, and men empowerment. So it is so women can log into that, Google search. There are lots of them out there. Many of them supporting women, encouraging women, private, public organizations. There are lots of them out there. They can begin from there, and also it is important to also have this local partnership. Within your environment, your community. Women need to start coming up with ideas, creative solutions to what is affecting women. You see a girl on your street, for instance, in your estate, you notice that there are lots of girls that they were not properly tutored by their mother.
Sure.
A girl said that when she saw her menses, throughout that day, she was changing her clothes because she didn't know what happened. So, and you could have one aunt on that street that could just see the girl. So mentorship, women need to start this mentorship program. Unfortunately, what we have on social media these days are women who are pulling women down and telling men how to deal with women when they are meant to start mentorship programs for younger women. If you know so much about women and you are such a good woman, you should not be pulling women down. You should start a mentorship program and imbibe those culture in younger women.
Okay, let's quickly go for a break when we come back. Okay, viewers, we'll begin for a break. When we come back, the agenda continues. To stay with us.
Please, girls, let's be fast with our chores. It's almost time for engendered. Girls, it's time for your favorite program, Engendered. Yeah, Mommy, we're coming right away. Sophia, turn off the gas. What are your fears as a woman? And what are your doubts as a lady? You think you're alone with those thoughts? Then welcome to Engendered, where we'll bring you discuss, interviews, previews, experiences, opinions, and issues relating to the female gender. This is Engendered.
My name is Sheilo BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's Captain TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching Kaftan TV.
Please keep watching Kaftan TV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Sheilo BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's Captain TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching Kaftan TV.
Please keep watching Kaftan TV. It is the best TV station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching.
Welcome back to the program. If you've just joined us, we are still talking Engendered, the program where we'll bring you everything relating to the female gender. And before I went on that short break, we've been discussing self-development in women with our guest who is seated here in the studio, Mr. Femi Jubal. He's a life coach and a relationship expert. We've done lots of self-development. The guests have given us insight on how women can develop themselves. So now we'll be moving to the second segment, which will be talking about how self-development affects the dating and marriage space. Why am I asking this question? Because most times when women are developed, like when they know they've gotten to that stage of their life, they feel, I don't think I need a man. I don't think I need I don't need a man. I already made. I have my money. I don't need a man for anything. I even had someone saying I can just go and get pregnant and start getting my baby. So how does self-development affect dating and marriage?
I think that idea, people who say things like that are either in self-denial, or they are ignorant, or they are suffering from a trauma. Because the truth is, there is this thing that they always see on social media. When a man makes money, when a man is successful, he's thinking of, I need to go get a wife and raise a family. But when a woman is successful, she starts thinking, I don't need a man.
I'm independent.
Exactly, I'm independent. And then the same woman, after 20 years, when she's 50, 55, 60, now says, I wish I had a man, I wish I had a family. Because at the end of the day, we are here today because of our ancestors.
Okay.
Because of our grandparents, our parents, our great-grandparents. If they said, I don't need to have any child, we won't be here. So one of the reasons why it is important for us to, no matter how successful we are, to make sure that we fulfill the marriage obligation is because that is a duty to our ancestors, it is a duty to our spouse, and it is a duty to society. And it is important to also ensure that we don't carry on this. A lot of people were raised in very dysfunctional, traumatic environments. And that's why they make statements like this. I don't have to marry. I don't need a child. They are saying these things from the place of bitterness. Maybe they've been, sometimes people like to cover their wound. They don't want to expose it. It's confidence. No, it's not confidence. And eventually when they now say, okay, they now marry by accident. So what happens is, I said it in my book, I said, family is the cornerstone of a thriving and prosperous society. So dysfunctional and ignorant people cannot be competent custodians of the family institutes, because that leads to chaos. Because a lot of people that you have these days, they were not prepared. Whether maybe they are saying, I don't have to marry, or they were ignorant, they just crash landed into marriage. So your success should be a form of marriage should be for you like a duty. You are giving back because you are successful. Now it's time for me to raise a family and continue the legacy of my ancestors by raising a healthy family, well-behaved children that will now contribute to the human ecosystem. So that statement, I think, is from a place of people are not stable.
Emotional trauma.
Exactly.
Well, how can a woman balance her self-developing, her marriage, and then the family?
The best person to answer this question is actually a woman, but I'll do my best. Now, because this is the ancient landmark. A man is meant to raise a boy, and initiate him into manhood. Because only masculinity can bestow masculinity on a boy. Only a man can make a boy a man. Now, the woman is meant to raise the girl and, help her become a woman. Because femininity is the only energy entity that can bestow femininity on a girl. So now, but when you have a situation where people are not even connected to their femininity and masculinity, what happens is it brings a lot of confusion. So, but when you are connected to this energy source and your authenticity, what happens is you begin to see yourself as a partaker of the social structure, especially we all have a family tree. It's a family tree. And when you have a family tree, the leaves are as important as the fruit. There is the roots. Everything is working together. It's like the body. We're all members of the body. If your head is aching, it affects the whole body. You start having, your legs can be shaking. So when that happens, you now see that however you are developing yourself, you are doing it because eventually you want to bring that on the table of, contributing your own ingenuity, your own unique quota to the family units, either your, immediate family, your husband, your wife, your children, your neighbors, the society, because at the end of the day, we are Africans. It takes a community to raise a child, like they say. So it is balancing these things that is important. Not one is not better than the other. So you don't throw one away because you have achieved the other.
All right. So what are the advantages self-development holds, that self-development in women holds for the family, an individual, and the country at large? What are the advantages?
What it does is when we raise, because when they said when you empower a woman, you are empowering a generation, I think, something like that.
When you train a woman,
when you train a woman,
you train a nation.
You're training a nation. Because the truth is, I believe personally that if you want to know the kind of children or family you want to raise, this is one of the life hack to choosing a genuine partner. If you know the kind of family you want to raise, the kind of children you want to have, then you will know the kind of woman you should marry. So when you see a woman, she is the embodiment, she is the one that can pass all the resources that you need to have in the kind of, because as a man, you're not married, for instance, you are meant to see, this is a kind of vision for your family. So now, there are some women you will meet, they are not the picture of that future you have seen. Because you already know the kind of children you want to have. Like I don't want my children to have some beliefs, personally. So I chose a woman that would imbibe in them beliefs that would empower them, not disempower them. So what happens here is, when you do that, what you are doing is you are solving a lot of puzzles, not just for yourself, not just for your woman, but for your children at the end of the day.
Okay, let's talk about, I want you to throw more light on this masculinity and femininity.
Yeah, masculinity and femininity.
Yeah, you've said lots about it. I want you to give us detail. What does it entails? So people out there can get it.
Is the yin yang. They call it yin yang. There's something called the law of opposites.
Okay.
Polarity. Or maybe it's the law of duality. Yeah, okay. But it's femininity, masculinity. Everything was created in twos.
Okay.
In the Yoruba binary system, is in twos. In the Ifa binary system, everything is in twos. So now you have two eyes. Yeah? Nostrils.
Two.
Ears.
Two ears.
So everything is in twos at the end of the day. So it means that if something is wrong with this, now sometimes you want to pick up this, it's not that heavy, right? I can pick it with one hand. But there are things you want to carry. You have to use two hands.
Yeah.
So there is a level we get to in life that we have to carry some things and you can't use your one hand. You have to use two hands.
Okay.
So then it means that, and the truth is they have said that this hand and this hand, they are not the same size.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
They're
sharing it for
not
the
equal.
first time.
They're not equal. Like even this, your feet, they are not equal.
Okay.
Yeah. They are not completely equal. So, but they are both going to complement each other and play a role. So all your life, you were growing up, you've been carrying just this phone, not something that weighty and all that. But then it gets to a point in your life where you have to start carrying this box. You can't use one hand. Okay, so now you're a man. Your dominant energy is a masculine energy. So now you need an energy to balance and help you. And sometimes maybe that energy may not even carry it, the way you would carry it, but it will help you push it further. So what happens is these two are energies, two different energies that complement each other to balance your energy. Because if you are too masculine to the point where you don't have any feminine thing, because see what happens is by interaction, if you're a man that is operating in your true masculinity, your woman would help you connect with your femininity when you need to. Yeah. If you're a woman that is in your authentic femininity, your man would help you connect to your masculinity when you need to. I remember a story of a woman who is a widow. She said, I remember my husband used to tell me that the reason I married you is because I know that in my absence you will take care of my children the way I would have taken care of them. So the man was helping her connect with her masculinity. So when the man died, and the woman said she was going to die with him, And then later on, it was like, but this guy told me she married me because he knew that in his absence, I would raise our children the way he would have raised them if he was alive. So what happened there? There was a connection. So that triggered, so that's what both energy, they are energies. And energy is everything, actually. There is an energy in this room right now. Everything is energy. You are a conglomerate of energies, so that's basically what it is.
So you mean a man also has a femininity?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. But the dominant energy in a man is his masculine energy. But sometimes it needs to connect with his feminine. A lot of people say men don't cry. No. See, this is, and a lot of men are living up to the templates that society has built for them. So they are living like a macho man. That's why you see they say men are lonely. Men are in their house. Their children don't play with them. You are the reason they don't play with you. You are trying to be
too stiff all the time.
Yes, why would they play with you? So sometimes for you to connect with your children, you have to deploy some femininity. To deploy, whether you do it subtly or not, you deploy it so you can relate with your children. Some calmness, some playfulness, some childlikeness. Even with your woman sometimes. That's why I said, bottom line, a man who is real in his authentic masculinity is woman. If his woman is also in her authentic femininity, she would help him to deploy his femininity when it is needed, because it will be needed from both of us sometimes.
Okay, let's go back to the topic again. Now, self-development brings self-esteem. Yeah, it makes one to have superior complex. Now, people tend to see it as pride. So I want you to go through that journey with us. What is self-esteem? What is pride?
Self-esteem is a healthy awareness of your value and worthiness. You are aware of who you are. And the reason people misconstrue that with pride is because a lot of people are not aware of who they are. So they're like, who is this person that is aware of who they are, when the rest of us here don't know who we are?
Exactly.
What I've seen is most of the people who are quick to accuse people of pride are the ones, they have low self-esteem. It's the truth. I have an in-law. I'm going to share the story. I have an in-law who is 6-year-old. My 6-year-old nephew, 2 years ago, looked at me and said, Uncle Femi, I wish you were my dad. 6-year-old boy. So I figured over the years, there's been this friction between me and him from nowhere, like, envy, jealousy. So he's quick to accuse me of pride, like he's proud. He says that because he has a very damaged self-esteem. So the reason there are many people right now, they are accused of pride. They are not proud. They are just aware of who they are. They have discovered their identity and worthiness. Like, I know who I am. I will not shortchange myself because to make you feel good. And it happens to women a lot.
Yeah.
Women are, these days, especially these days, weak men are accusing women of being too masculine. You are a weak man. You are not proactive. You are in a house with your wife. No proactiveness. Because I counsel people, and a lot of women in January that spoke to me. I'm telling you, all the women that spoke to me said, I called my husband and asked him, what is our plan for the year? He didn't say anything. So when you are in the same house with that woman and you want her to give you due respect, you are saying she's control. She doesn't want to listen to you. You are not a man. Your woman is asking you, what is our vision for the year? You don't know. You have already failed as a man. What you are meant to do is to go sit down and ask yourself, I need to curate a vision for this family. Not say that your woman is becoming masculine. And that's what we have these days. A lot of women are beginning to take over. I'm telling my brothers, guys, in 20, 30, 40 years from now, matriarchy may come back. That thing we are scared of, it will come back. And you have female president. Now you're having, many of the countries are working.
It's coming back gradually.
Exactly.
All right. So what are the areas of self-development a woman should take cognizance? Because it's very, very important.
Spiritually.
Okay.
Let me start with this. I wrote an article some time ago. It has to do with mothering. The art of mothering a child. And I started by saying that if you know your power as a mother, you will not even take your child to anybody to pray for them.
Right.
Because you were the first person that baptized your child by the breaking of your water. When you read some of the uncanonized, that's why I said the other time, don't limit yourself to the books that religion gave you. If you want to know yourself as a woman, you have to go beyond that. In one of the uncanonized texts that they removed from the Bible, Jesus said, it's called the Essenes Gospel of Peace. Jesus said, when people came to him and said, Satan is chasing us, Satan wants to destroy us, what do we do? Jesus said to them, he said, I will take you to my mother's temple, where you will be protected from Satan and his angels. My mother's temple. Yeah? The mother's temple there is my mother's womb.
Oh.
You know, not literally, but where my mother is. So it means that I'll take you to where my mother is.
Okay.
And you are automatically protected. And in one of those things, he also said that you are my mother. From your flesh, I got my flesh. From your liver, I got my liver. From your so your child that came to life, you gave your child life. That's why you see, even medically, when anything that happens to a woman, it reflects in the child until after 3 to 4, 5 months after birth. Yes, that's why they advise women, when you are pregnant, there are some things you should not do, because what you do affects your child. It means that you determine the lifespan of that child to a certain degree. You now give birth to that same child. You do the first baptism, because when your water breaks, your child's first attempt shot at life was in your womb. You can decide to get rid of that child, and that's the end of the child, and nobody will ask you. And then you now give birth to that child. You are now looking for external forces and entities to take spiritual responsibility. So that's why you have these several people calling people that don't know them their spiritual covering. Your mother is your spiritual covering. And the problem is, a lot of mothers don't even know. So they neglected their children. Mother had a bad dream. Pastor, my child had a bad Alpha, my child had a bad dream. When you are the one that baptized your child, your water broke on that child, and the child came. And then you are now, because, spiritually, a lot of people have not discovered who they are. Not just women this time, also men. So spiritual development. Women must wake up to who they are. Because see, the earth is a womb, and we're all living in it. And that's why it's called Mother Nature. Every woman you see is a representative of the Mother Nature. Because this earth, we are living in a womb. So every woman carries a replica of that womb. So you can't be that and not be spiritual. And when I say spiritual, I don't mean, it's quite different from religious dogma and all that. It means connecting with your soul and who you are on your inside. I don't want to take it to the perspective of ancestral order, because that's quite important. Because what does it mean when you say you are spiritual? It means you are connected to who you are. And how can you be an African and not be connected to your African ancestry? It's very important.
Okay, let's get the roles government should play in helping women develop.
Government needs to do more. Government needs to do more. See, there is this deception. Government makes it look like, we want women to be part of the government, but at the end of the day,
Deep down in their chest.
during campaign, at the end of the day, they now there are 40 positions. Let's see, because with me, I like to be logical. There are 40 positions. You now give 35 to men. Now give 5 to women. So it's like, we are doing you a favor.
Exactly. That's what it implies.
So even the women to now have, they are doing me a favor. And there is no outcry, nothing. So we must get to that point where there is. You see, some of the best ministers now are women.
Yeah.
You see what that lady is doing, going everywhere. So the government needs to have more inclusiveness when it comes to women. I want to see more women. Let's have like 15 female ministers. Let us have. Remember the other states that a woman almost won. Do you know why that woman did not win? A lot of people believe that a woman should not be their governor.
No.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, let's talk about the society.
Yeah.
Will the real society have to play in the development of women?
They say it takes a village to raise a child. So, like I said, there are lots of things that many of us would see and will overlook. And we're not meant to overlook those things. Because at the end of the day, if a girl is damaged and destroyed, that's what she would bring to society. And one of the ways to minimize chaos in society is to be interested in every child that we see, every girl child that you see. You know, you see a girl now, a young girl roaming around the streets. Come on, you are meant to find a way to find out what is going on. If you don't want to do it, go find a police officer, take them. I saw this girl this place. Let's put in more effort in making it our responsibility to raise healthy girl children and boy child too.
Okay, I would like to also get your advice for women out there who are supporting their self-development and at the same time trying to support their spouse's own development and marriage.
It's always very tedious when a woman has to support herself and also support her man. Because for a lot of men who have found themselves in that situation, they now become more egocentric. You know, your woman has been the one fending for the family 2 years, you haven't done anything, and then she takes a step. Is it because you're the one giving me money in the house? You think it's, you know? So I can't imagine how such women are, going through this situation and they are still able to go out and perform and come back home. What I would say is, if there is no abuse of any kind, since it's a marriage, it's a union, the woman can stylishly create, the environment that would aid the man's improvement. There are women who she was working somewhere and then, she heard of an opportunity for her husband and she got it for him. But if there is abuse plus you are taking care of him and then there is now abuse, my dear sister, you are an adult. You know what to do before your story becomes like that woman.
No. Okay, as we round up, I want you to give advice to young girls, ladies out there, especially those people in the rural areas on self-development.
Rural areas, it is important that they say that environment matters. But not all the time. Because we have seen people who are in the far remote parts of Central Africa and they made something out of it. I started seeing them on CNN. They created something. So wherever you are, you can maximize the opportunities in that area. Look for problems in that area.
Okay.
Because one of the ways to become relevant is to look for problems.
Get solutions.
And then solve those problems. And then that brings you to a place of notoriety. You don't just sit down and say because you're in the village, all you want to do is just marry and give birth and, solve. Marrying and giving birth is also a great thing. It's a noble cause, because full housewife is a noble cause. Somebody can decide to be a full housewife, yet they are contributing to raising healthy children. And many of the full housewives these days, they also have jobs they are doing online and all that. But for the rural area, it is important to look, because the rural areas, there are a lot of problems there.
Yeah.
There are many things that it is when we go to rural areas that we now notice that this thing is here, but you are there. You are there. You can figure out those things and then solve those problems. If you can't solve those problems, you can find a way to get access to internet. That's where government needs to come in. Find a way to there are many NGOs. Write to them. Get them involved. Before you know it, you become an impact maker in your community.
It was really an interesting section. I like the fact that everything is coming from a man down to the woman. Thank you very much for joining us on this section. And to our viewers out there, I know you've gotten 1 or 2 lessons from today's conversation. Self-development in women. It entails self-discovery. As a woman, you should discover yourself spiritually, physically, and otherwise. Like our guest said, nothing should stop you. Being in a rural area should not deter you from discovering who you are. Not saying the walls of a university or any other school shouldn't deter who you are. You should discover yourself for you, and from there you will get development and growth. Many thanks for joining us this evening. I remain your host, Pamela Ajaero.
Confidence, Rueben. Goodbye.